Hey everybody, we are on the NCL Viva in Mykonos, Greece, and we are going to tender over to land and find some great Greek food for lunch. Want to come with? Let's go.
Why does it sound like I feel like a stranger? It's like I'm surprised by the good things in life. Funny how you clear out all the noise in my head.
I'm Morgan from the very unofficial travel guides. I've been making travel videos for over 15 years of popular and not so popular tourist destinations to give you a very honest, unofficial look at what it's like to be there. I'm also the author of 2 travel-related books, Getting Stitches on a Cruise Ship and Places Please. If you like to read and want to give me a little extra support, check them out on Amazon now. If you're new to cruising, you might be surprised by this method of getting from the ship over to land. Don't worry, in most ports, the ship ties up to a dock and you can just sashay down the gangway like a glamorous Jack Sparrow. But in some places, like here in Mykonos, the ship actually drops anchor offshore, and if you want to go on land and explore, you have to hop out of a little hole on the side of the ship and into a smaller vessel called a tender boat. Fun fact, these boats were named after their inventor, Dr. Maria Garcia Boat, who in 1875 was eating chicken tenders at a McDonald's when a piece fell into her barbecue dipping sauce. She stared into that little sauce cup and thought, wow, it looks like my chicken is riding in a little boat. And that, my friends, is how the tender boat got its name. Science, history, chicken, that's what we do here on the very unofficial travel guides. Make sure you're subscribed for completely accurate historical facts like that one. You're welcome. So many of these Greek island ports, it's so great to just walk around on these side streets, sort of look at the non-touristy areas. Look at this street, for instance. I mean, is this a street? Do you ever just feel like the walls are closing in on you? Usually, we try to find a restaurant that's not in the touristy area because our experiences have been that a lot of times it's a little bit more of a personal experience and the prices are better. You've heard of places that offer free hugs, but what about free candy? On the day that we were in Mykonos, there were 2 other ships in port, and honestly, parts of the city seemed totally overrun with tourists, which made it kind of hard to find a quiet, out-of-the-way restaurant like we were hoping for. We walked all the way over to the windmills, down several streets filled with tour groups blocking all traffic except in their direction, and we eventually doubled back and went to a place called Laka, which was really charming and not all that full, at least not when we first sat down. Here's some Mediterranean cruise advice for you, and I'm not joking this time. Our cruise stopped in Santorini, Mykonos, and Rhodos, and without a doubt, the best place to explore side streets and find a small, out-of-the-way restaurant is Rhodos, and not Mykonos, and definitely not Santorini. Next time, I'll try to remember my own advice. So we ordered a half a liter of wine, like a mini pitcher of wine, and look at it, came in this, I don't know, what would you call this? Like a tin camping cup. We shared some tzatziki, Marcus got a chunk of grilled sea monster, we had some saganaki and zucchini balls, the waiter upsold us some pita bread, which is usually always included when you order something like tzatziki, but not at this place. The food was good, and we didn't leave hungry. Altogether, the bill was around 60 euros with tip, including a complimentary limoncello, so that was a nice little ending to this lunch. By the way, something embarrassing happened while we were eating, but I'll tell you about that back on the ship. On the ship at our private sun deck in the haven, and the place that we went to eat ended up being pretty good, and the food was good, the portions were a fair size. It seemed
a little bit difficult to find a place that was like off the beaten path, because at that area of the island it seemed like there were only beaten paths. And after we got the food on the table, I was swatting at flies and I totally launched my glass of wine off the table. It went flying through the air, landed on the ground, shattered in thousands of pieces. Everybody in the restaurant was like, "What?" And funnily enough, the restaurant staff all screamed, "Oppa!" They came and they said, "Don't worry, it's a sign of good luck." But still, it was embarrassing in a way. And in the end, I think with tip, we paid about 63 euros and we had wine, 3 appetizers, or actually 4 appetizers. Marcus had the octopus. So actually, not too bad. I think we definitely looked at restaurants that cost much more than that. So if you are here and that looks good to you and you think you might want to check it out, this is where you can find it on the map. And now we're going to bake in the sun for a couple more minutes, jump into the infinity pool for probably just a minute, and then get ready for sail away. Let me know what you think about me launching a glass of wine through the restaurant in the comments. Have you ever done something like that while eating out? Share with me your most embarrassing eating in a restaurant story, and we can all laugh at our misfortune together. Make sure you're subscribed before you go, and look forward to seeing you back here soon. Bye-bye.